going on, team? Joss here. If you've not watched this channel before, so obviously trying to be more consistent with my YouTube, but I want to give more value as much as possible, and not just be filming vlogs, pointless vlogs about my lifestyle, which you may or may not want to see. But I thought of something this morning that it's an important topic, I guess. Starting out as an online coach, what would I do? You know, if it was me now today. I've been in this game for about 14, 15 years, and if you don't know who I am, we run Elevate Agency, which is an agency where we look after, build businesses for some of the biggest fitness entrepreneurs and coaches on the planet, and then help them scale, whether it's high ticket, low ticket, and shortly we'll be going into the gym space as well. But the opportunity to make money online nowadays is just absolutely mental. Like it is crazy. There's so much information out there, especially compared to like when I got started. You know, like I'm 35 now. When I first started the online space, so to speak, I guess I was probably around 26, 27. I was PTing for years on the gym floor, endless hours. I hated the environment where I worked at so much that I used to go train at other gyms, you know. And to make that transition online was very difficult then, because it wasn't so much a thing. Like online coaches weren't like a big thing back then. And I made a website, I remember, and then it was on Wix.com. It was terrible. I didn't make any money for years on there. There was no mentors then. There was no online coaching or courses to follow. I literally just had blind faith of somewhere that I wanted to be, which is, I guess, where I am today, through consistency and just stubbornness, I guess. But if I was starting out today, as many coaches are, coming through the agency even, but if you were to do it without that, there's so much opportunity, it's nuts. Like, speaking about money, like, even at Christmas, for example, I met a lady, and she was selling bakery courses, right? Bakery. Everyone can cook, so your niche is pretty much everyone. And she was doing courses for £500, I think, for an 8-week course, which was providing different levels of value based off what kind of categories of meals you want to cook, like beginner, intermediate, advanced, and then she'd have some sort of accountability group. And she can promote anyone who wants to cook. It's great, right? And I remember she said she did around 34 sales in December, which is around 17K, right? And 34 people isn't really a lot of people if you're doing volume on outreach, you've got the right content, or even if you're running ads, you know, which is absolutely crazy. And obviously we focus on the fitness space, but there's so many other avenues to go down. Like all my friends, they've got businesses online, especially here in Dubai. Everyone moves here online because there's freedom and there's no tax. Anything you pay to get set up, you'll save because there's no tax. But like, there's drop shipping, e-commerce, FBA, crypto. I guess the majority of people who I know, especially in my world, sell educational courses. You know, just like us, like in the fitness space. And I think if you have a skill set, it's your duty to try and help people get where you are, you know, but you don't have to be the best in the game to come up with some sort of a course to educate someone. And I think that's what a lot of people get wrong, especially on social media. Everything's perfected and everything's crispy clean, when in reality, you just need to be at a higher level than the people that you're trying to sell your course to or educate, so you can actually give valid information that's valuable, you know. You don't have to be top of the game to help someone else get to where you are, you know. Even if you're starting out in the gym, you know, it's like being a PT. From someone who's coming into the gym for the first time, they don't even know what rep range, rest periods, you know, what exercises to do, and then you're putting your information there. So you just need to translate to that going online, which might be totally foreign to a lot of PTs, going from in-person to online. And trust me, I'm not a tech guy. I'm not a technical dude at all. But I made that transition over a long period of time. But what's crazy is how we actually have in our academy kids coming through, not literally kids, but like, 19 to 21 year olds, kids to make them all, coming in and doing what took me around 6 years to do by myself with no help. They are doing in 3 months, earning 5 to 10K, 4 to 5 figures a month, doing high ticket online coaching. And that might seem like mind boggling to a lot of you. And I've got clients who we refer back to on the call when we had catch up, like, do you remember our first conversation? She was like, one Paris, a girl called Paris comes to mind now. She was I think she had like 53 clients in person a week, and she was charging around £30 per session. Those people would be like twice, maybe 3 times a week. So her week, as you can imagine, she was very time poor, but also wasn't getting paid the amount for the work she was being put in. And now we've taken her on, and I think she did 8K last month online. So she's got in person and then online, so hybrid packages for a lot of these people, which is giving her time back, which means you can put your time into other areas where you actually are more valuable, Even if you've got 12 clients as a PT, that's 12 hours of your day, Imagine if you spent 12 hours educating yourself on how to get more clients online. You can help quadruple, 5 times the amount of people with the time you have, But I guess a great example is a guy called Nathan Clement. Give you a little shout out. He's great success story. So he was a lad from Newcastle, 21 years old. He was playing rugby. He's doing about £500 a month. And he came on very skeptical. And by month, I think it's 6 weeks in, he did like 4.5K. And now he's consistently doing over 5 figures a month. He's been with us for about 7 or 8 months now, which is absolutely crazy, because I remember him calling me before Christmas, and he went away with his girlfriend and he's taken out for dinner, and it was the first time he didn't have to check his bank account. It's crazy. And you're probably asking, like, how are we doing all this kind of stuff, right? So this is the point why I want to make this video. If I were to start from scratch, how would I do it now? So the thing is, like I said, everything's already been out there. So also, you need to invest into people who are doing better than you. I've probably spent 35 to 40 grand on mentors to get where I am. There's always someone bigger or better than you. So you need to surround yourself and learn from those people to get where you want to be, essentially. And I think a lot of people are skeptical to do so. But essentially, the more times you fail, the more times you learn in order to get where you want to be. Anyone who's further along than you or more successful than you has failed more times than you can imagine. It's just ticking boxes of what didn't work at that time to go again. You keep the goal the same, but the method has to be, you have to change. So I guess if I were to start again, and I didn't have a larger following, there's a few, 1 second. Shout out to the boys at Newtonic. So what kind of direction do you go in? If you have a smaller following, it makes total sense to focus on higher ticket packages rather than doing low ticket. If you manage to build up a larger social media following and you wanted to get into the coaching space, right, you've got the luxury of doing both. So if you've got 100K followers, and you manage to get just 200 of those, to sign up to a monthly subscription-based model platform like your own app. This is one of the products that we build, that's 10K recurring revenue at $50 a month, 200. That's not too hard, and then that compounds. So your MLR will go up. But if you're in a position where you don't have any followers whatsoever, high ticket is the way to go. Now you might think, what gives me the right, or how can I, because you don't have the self-belief because you've never done it before, to charge high ticket prices, you know? And by high ticket and low ticket, by the way, for those who don't know, is just a price. So high ticket, for example, would be like 1 to 2K package in the coaching world, right? A 1 to 2K package for like 12 or 16 weeks of online coaching, right? And then low ticket would be something like, I don't know, $30 to $50 a month, you know. But because that's low ticket, it's for the masses. So you want to have that fully automated, really. You know, you don't want to be, because that would be impossible for you to fulfill all 200 clients on a monthly basis, right? So if you were to hit that magic 10K with high ticket, that's anything from like 5 to 10 clients. Very easy to fulfill, you know. So how would you go about getting these clients? First off, you need to come up with an offer based around the people who you want to attract. And the people who you want to attract is going to be your niche, right? And your niche is usually what you are, you know, what you're going to be posting about consistently because you enjoy to do that. So for example, if you probably looked at my page, you're probably going to think topless douchebag, but in reality, my niche is strength and conditioning. I like to do functional training. Probably is more aimed at guys, maybe like 20 to 30, 40 years old, to get them beach body ready. You probably think that, right? That's probably the majority of the clients that I had in when I was doing the B2C coaching. So it's what you enjoy to do, and it's what you're going to be posting about. And also, it's going to be the thing that you know the most about, because you're going to know the peaks and troughs of the struggles that you went through in order to overcome that to get where you are today. So you're going to be able to relate to anyone who you're on a call with, who is struggling, who is where you want to be, if that makes sense. Okay, so you need to work out your niche, and then you need to build your offer around your niche. But when you're building your offer, you need to have different tiers to it. You know, you're not just going, all right, 2K package, that's it, not moving. You know, you need to have some move to room, because you're here to help people at the end of the day as a coach, right? So, and your margins are great, you know, especially if you're doing high ticket. So you want to have your top package, say it's 2K, you know, if you get 5 people, that's your 10K a month. But you need to have tiers to it, to break it down, maybe down to 1,000. And with those tiers, you're taking parts of the package away in order for a lower in the price, so you can help more people. But at the end of the day, your margins are still going to be great, you know. So don't just have one price range, you know. But then if you're in a position where you have high and low ticket in place, you've got the ultimate downsell, you know. You want to be able to downsell your clients so you can get them over. So have different offers based off the people you want to attract. So the next thing would be content strategy. This is going to be one of the main drivers of your organic lead generation. So with your content strategy, this needs to be based around your niche. It needs to cover a variety of topics that give as much value as possible, to get high engagement and to bring as many organic leads in as possible, essentially, right? So when you're posting, you want to be covering like your nutrition, your workouts, your motivation, testimonials, bits of your personal life as well. And don't get me wrong, you need to be really consistent with this. And anyone who's starting out on any platform, it sucks. Like even me on YouTube now, like my YouTube's slow because I'm not consistent with it. But if you look at like right now, my JM Transformations page is absolutely fine. I'm gaining like 500, nearly to 1,000 followers per day because of the content that I'm posting, and I'm really consistent with it. So you need to have a content strategy. The more valuable content you post, the more engagement, eyeballs, leads you will have coming in. You've got to realize Instagram, any social platform, is just a system and it wants to be used. So the more you use it, the more they're going to fave you, you'll pop up on explore pages, so on and so forth, right? So your content strategy is going to bring in leads from organically, okay? So you can do call to actions off that as well. So off the back of that, you can post, whether it's a reel, post, a story, drive traffic to a call to action. Could be a type form, it could be DM me the word train, to speak to me in my DM about my services, anything, okay? That's people coming to you, so direct that traffic somewhere where you can have a conversation with them to get them on a call about your services, you know? And a type form is a very, very good way to do this. We literally, in our first year of doing high ticket, we did over 7 figures, under 10 months, as a team, with doing our call to action straight to a type form. Yes, we had great followers and like big accounts to work with, but straight to a type form. Got the information, got people booked on a call, got them on a call, got them sold, got them trained. It was great. So don't overthink it that you need a big flashy website and all that kind of stuff. The main thing is they see the value of your content. Your content is going to be your portfolio of your credibility and your authority, right? Then get people on a call. That's where you sell yourself. That's where you close people. And once you've closed them, then you can do the fulfillment, okay? So your content strategy is key. So lead generation is going to be the next thing, what I'd focus on. So lead gen, it comes in a few forms, right? So your warm lead generation is going to come through your content strategy, which I've just gone through, right? That's people who are naturally coming to you because of the value that you're posting. Then, I know this is an old-fashioned and a lot of people bash it, but it's literally done our agency across the board. It's a multi-7-figure strategy, you know, you just need to do it correct. So doing cold outreach to new prospects on a daily basis is so effective. And one of the hardest things I think for people to keep up with when doing this is the consistency of doing it on a daily basis, to have the conversations compounding over the weeks, because some people will reply a day, a week, even a month later. So it's very important you have the consistency with those conversations that they keep coming in. Now, where would you find these leads? You know, now you'd on gyms with big followings, high-end gyms, Equinox, Ultraflex, whatever it is, like look in places where your niche is. There's tools that you can use on certain pages like Unipro. You know, we use that on Facebook. That really dials in on specific niches. You can type in your niche and it'll help you find people on Facebook in that, and then you can dive into the DM and get them into conversation. But in reality, that is a big numbers game, but you need to be able to do the numbers in order to get that, you know, small percentage of people signed up. We had a girl called Cassie who came on board. She had like 17K followers, and she was a PT in person for ages, well, a few years. And she tried to go online for like 8 months, nothing was sticking. She came in through the mentorship, right? And then the reason I'm talking about this is just based off her outreach. I've got the table somewhere. Her goal was to hit 10K per month. That was the goal, USD. And by day 63, she'd managed that. Her first month, she'd done about 6.4K. And then if we went into September, I've got a screenshot of her KPI tracker. I'll try and put it on the screen. She did, over the month, 730 outbound messages she did. Out of that, she only had 30 booked calls. Out of those 30 booked calls, 23 showed up. She closed 16. So by building out this KPI tracker, you can see the metrics. So you can see the volume needs to be really high. Bearing in mind, she's done half the amount of outreach that we've asked her to do. But then there's a big gap between the outbound and then the booked calls. You know, out of 730, only 30 is booked in. So that's the way the problem is of how we can work out how to solve that. So her show rate will go up, her close rate will go up. But my point is, if I was starting again, I would look on people's pages, gyms, work out where I can find people in my niche, and I would message people every day. I actually did this for about 2 years myself, which is why I know everything about it. So I had a DM script, I know how to target people, how to open a conversation based off common ground, you know, and then do a call to action, whether it's firing them a link to get them booked in for a call, or send them to a type form to get more information about them, to qualify them for the call, you know, because sometimes you can't just get people straight on the call because you need to know they can afford your product at the same time. There's no point wasting like half an hour on a sales call if you've got no background information about them to get them on the call so they can afford it. So that would be the second thing. And then lastly, with lead generation, would be to run ads. But I'd only run ads once I've kind of exhausted my first two. Your organic lead generation and your cold outreach. It's warm and cold. Then I'd start to sell ads. And then ads really is the only way you can truly scale your business to the next level, because you're paying to hit thousands and thousands of eyeballs. So you can get your ads scripted up, but again, the more money you put into this, the more you're going to get out of it. But I'd conquer the first two things there if I was going to start again. Then you need to go into the sales pitch. You've got your content strategy now. You've got your lead flow coming in. I'm doing my outreach. I'm doing 30, 40 conversations a day, and I'm getting people booked in for calls now. I've qualified them with the Typeform. And then I've got these people on a call. It'll be something similar like this. It'll be a Zoom call, simply because you get a better connection on a Zoom call and you can read people a lot better. Personally, that's what I found. These calls should last no longer than 15 to 30 minutes tops. And then you need to have a sales pitch. Don't go into a sales call blind. And you have to have the authority in the call. You got to pre-frame the call, tell them what's going to happen, and then how it's going to go. So take control of the call, because at the end of the day, the people who are on the call are there because they want to be helped. You've already had a conversation with them. They've filled out a Typeform, they've pressed yes, they've booked in a call with you in your calendar, and they've signed on. They are there because they want to have their life changed, with their coaching. So you've kind of got to realize that as well. So again, that comes down to confidence and self-belief. And believe me, sales, I was never particularly trained in sales when I started this. I remember Jamie, my business partner, when he first told me we were going to do a high ticket, I was like, what is that? Told me, got a sales script. He was like, pump this link out, and got on my sales call, and I had a very, very short brief bullet points that I kind of needed to cover. Now we've perfected a full sales script for our clients, but that led to me doing $98,000 in my first month. It was absolutely wild, and that was selling $1,600 packages. That was a wild year, but we scaled that crazy. But this is why it's important of actually having. So if I actually had all these proper systems in place, which we're going through now, and I actually had a better sales script, it would have been a lot more, which is nuts. Which is why I want to teach you guys to be able to do this yourself. So in the sales call, you need to go through the pain points of the client. You need to be covering every single objection that you might get at the end of the call, so you can go back to the question when you've answered it and relay that point back to them, so they can't object you. You're asking how long these people have been stuck there. How would it make them feel if you went from A to B? Are you the coach for them to work with? Get them to agree to all these questions. There's loads of these. So when it comes to the end of the call, you don't really have any objections to go to because you've covered them all. So that's one of the things is you need to educate yourself on, for sure. And then once you've done all that and everyone has full clarity, they want to work with you. This is the thing, they're all pumped up, right? You need to go through the finances. Now, you should already have some background information about this because of the Typeform that you filled in, or you had a conversation in the DM, whatever it is, and you worked out what their job is, so you can kind of gauge if they can afford this or not, So you obviously start your top package. So it's a 2K package that we're go on about. And if they say yes, fantastic. Send them the link, get them paid there and then. I'd suggest setting up some sort of payment process, whether it's Stripe or not. But if they don't, which is understandable, everyone's going to try and get a deal out of you. You need to learn how to downsell, which would go back to the offers what I was speaking about. You need to have different tiers within your packages to get people on board. You know, if you get someone on your lowest package still, your margins are still great, but you need to take parts of the package away, whether it's taking a checking call away, or getting something extra out of the client, maybe asking for a testimonial that you can use for your social media, you know. Justify lowering the price. 'Cause if you try and lower the price for no reason, you just look fucking desperate, okay? So don't do that, all right? Justify it. But again, you need to make sure you've got a solid sales pitch in place. You know, it's taken me years to get that right, and now we've got a full team on it as well. So the last thing, finally, is once you've got these guys sold, they want to work with you, you know, you need to have a solid fulfillment process to get the best results, because these guys are highly invested emotionally, financially. They've just put a lot of money into working with you. So we need to have an amazing fulfillment process. You know, there's loads of ways to do this. We're currently building, we've got multiple fulfillment processes with the agency, whether it's low ticket, that's automated, or we've got building our own high ticket app actually at the moment. But we used to do everything because it was free. Because if you're just starting this out, you don't want to be forking out loads of money paying for platforms. You want it to be free. And this is how we did it for years. It's very effective. Google Docs, simple. You know, you can create all the different programs, create all the presets so they're already made, and you can add on to it. You can put a video library in of the workouts and calculate your macros and calories for the clients, you know, and you can have individual folders, they have access to it, you have access to it, and then you have the check-in calls. Because the main thing with this, with high ticket, why are people paying that price? It's for the accountability that you're going to give them on a weekly basis so they do the fucking work. So the check-ins are the main reason, and the communication, the main reasons why they do this, you know? So you need to have a lot of communication throughout this. So I'd advise having either weekly or bi-weekly check-ins, and then WhatsApp support for sure. And then however you provide the training and nutrition is kind of up to you, but I'd highly recommend using Google Docs because it's just easy to use, you know. So that's kind of everything what I do step by step if I was going to start again, you know. And looking at all of that to do this costs. You just need a phone, an Instagram account. You don't need anything. You just need to do the work. And this work is not like labor. This is just consistent work you need to do on your phone. Be consistent with your content. Your content's a massive part of this, you know. I think people struggle because they're scared of what people are going to think. That's a big thing. And self-belief. Can I do this? You know. But believe me, you can do this. Practice makes perfect. If you are a coach watching this, there was a first time when you stepped into a gym and you didn't have a fucking clue what you were doing. Look at you now, you're coaching people in person. You know, so translate that energy and your authority on the gym floor and be that online. You just need to learn these systems, you need to implement them daily. But like I said, if you've got a lower following and you want to reach your goals a lot quicker and you hit that magic 10K, you know, might seem crazy, it might seem miles away for you, but it's not that far. It's not that far. If we focus on quality over quantity here, and you can hit that magic 10K quite easily. Think about it. If you're doing 40 messages a day, that's a lot. That's what I was doing, about 30 to 40 a day. Every morning while I was doing my cardio. That's 1,200 messages per month. This is why I hit my high numbers when I was doing my high ticket coaching, because if I'm doing 1,200 messages per month, do you think it's fair to say for me to get 40 to 50 high ticket clients? Yes. So it is a numbers game, but you need to be able to do the volume, to get the conversations, to get the book calls, to get that small percentage of high ticket clients on board. So I hope this has given some understanding of how to get started if you are a coach listening to this, and giving you a little bit more self-belief, and hopefully it's inspired a few people. That's what I want to do with this page as well. If you do want to lock in and get in a conversation with myself about how to scale your business online, whether you've got a massive platform or you've got a tiny one. We have systems that work for anyone based off your demographic and whatever your goal is, what your niche is, you know. Hit the link down below, and we can get you booked in for a call, and we can work out what's best for you. You know, I've been in this game for a long time, and we've done pretty well so far, and nothing better than helping people get off the gym floor and scale online. You know, it's so rewarding. Just how you guys train people, women for their weddings, and they'll lose a few dress sizes. It's that same feeling for me, getting you off the gym floor and giving you financial freedom, giving more time back to help more people. You can even help more people online, which is nuts, you know. And you can work from wherever. Like, I'm in Dubai now, working from my laptop. But yeah, if you do want to jump on a call, hit the link below. Drop me a comment if you've got any questions. I'll try and get back to everyone as well. Like and subscribe. Hope you've enjoyed the video, and see you on the next one.